Hello students, how are you all? Today we are going to start our second lesson of geography, that is land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife. As you know very well, we all are occupied by these resources. So we'll try to understand them in depth. What is their importance in our life? What problem do what problem these resources are facing? Okay? Because over consumption of human beings, or we can say the selfishness of human beings is causing threat to these resources. Okay, and as they are so much important to us, how harmful our lifestyle is becoming for them, that we can see, and how can we stop them. We'll also discuss about the solution in this lesson. Okay, so let's begin our journey. First, we'll try to understand what is land. You know very well that this is the one of the most important natural resources, and 30% of the total area of the earth's surface, and all parts of this small percentage are not habitable, because somewhere there is a forest, so human beings can't live there. The uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world is mainly due to varied characteristics of land and climate. So the rugged topography means which is not plain. Okay, rugged means there are ups and downs. Okay, so the rugged topography, steep slopes of the mountains and low-lying areas susceptible to water logging, desert areas, thick forested areas are normally sparsely populated or uninhabited. On these places you can find that many people they are not living because it's uninhabitable. Okay, so steep mountains are there, very high, we can't live there. Then low lying area where there is so much water. Then desert area. Okay, so here thick forested areas, here people don't live, and if they live, they are in very less quantity. Okay, so plains and river valleys offer suitable land for agriculture. Okay, isn't it? So hence these are the densely populated areas of the world. So this is the first biodata of our land, isn't it? If you observe India, you can see the northern plains, they are so much populated. Why? Because there is river. Okay, and that area, it is so much fertile. That's why you can see maximum population. If I ask you which is the most populated state in our India, then it is UP. You know it very well. So maximum people they are living there. But Rajasthan is the biggest state in terms of area, but still the population is very less. So in this way, we'll come to know that there are, means we have 30% land. Okay, and you know very well, maximum land where we can't live because of this forest and all these features that we have seen here. Okay, so next, now, for which purposes we use land? Almost for every purpose we use land, and you know very well. Okay, for example, agriculture, then construction of the buildings, our transportation system. Still we have not developed such a system by which our cars will fly. We are flying by the aeroplanes, but our cars are not flying yet. So our transportation system, trains, houses, roads, setting up industries, all these things, for what purpose you are using the land, it is called land use. Okay, forestry, mining, all these things are there. Okay, so let's see one interesting fact for you. 90% of the world population occupies only 30% of land area. 90% population, only 30% area. The remaining 70% of the land is either sparsely populated or uninhabited. Means, you know very well, 70% or more than that there is a water. Okay, and land is very less. And if you count that land in 100%, then you will come to know that on only 30% people are living. And what about other remaining 70%? It cannot be inhabitable because of last reasons that we have seen. Okay, forest, steep mountains. Okay, so you might have understood what is a land use. Okay, now common property resources. You know very well that land can also be divided on the basis of private land and community land. Okay, so farm, agriculture, it's a private land. It is owned by the farmer, but means ground, public ground. Okay, so it's a community land where all can go, or the parks. Private land is owned by individuals, whereas community land is owned by the community for common uses like collection of fodder, fruits, nuts, or medicinal herbs. All communities, many people, they come together and they initiate such a program where they can collect all these things. So these community lands, they are called common property resources. It is common to all. That's why it is a common property resource. So this was our second term today. Next, how the change, how you can see there is a shift in the use of the land. Okay, how the use of the land is changing day by day, years by years, decades by decades. So you will come to know earlier there were no such as skyscrapers, the buildings which holds 122, 100, what we can say, such a big buildings were not there, isn't it? So afterwards, now we have started building such a big building, constructing such a big buildings, isn't it? Skyscrapers, they are called. Now we are using land for the transportation. Now we are using land for railway system. Now we are using land for entertainment, for parks, isn't it? So the variety of the land use pattern, it has increased a lot. Earlier, the use of land, it was just limited to stay, means for agriculture, for constructing the building, construction the home, for the construction of the home, isn't it? So it was very limited. So let's talk about the change in land use over time. People and their demands are ever growing, but the availability of land is limited. People started encroaching the common lands to build up commercial areas, housing complexes in the urban areas, and to expand the agriculture land in the rural areas. Okay, so you can see how the people are encroaching the land, because as the population is growing on, as we are developing, we need more and more land. So we are cutting the trees, deforestation is going on, isn't it? Then these are the problems with the land. First, land degradation, means the grade, the quality of the land, it just decreases. There are many reasons behind it, because of overuse of fertilizers, overuse of pesticides, overuse of chemicals. Then same crop is taken again and again from that farm. Okay, then what we can say, wind erosion, or we can say water erosion. So all these things are responsible for land degradation. Then landslides, when the land loses its support, it base, because of earthquake, we can say, because of the shakes, or we can say because of uh, a lot of water, land just slides down, comes down from the mountain. This is called landslides. Then soil erosion. Okay, means what is soil erosion? Soil is eroded from the land. As you know very well, it takes thousands of years for the soil to form 1 inch of layer. Oh, sorry, 1 centimeter of layer, 1 or 2 centimeter of layer. It takes thousands of years. So, because it is very fertile, okay. So, when water comes, and if the farm is on the slope, then that water just flush away all the layer of the soil. Okay. So, this is one reason. Then, desertification, day by day. If there is no proper water, then a specific area becomes desert. For example, as per the scientists, they are saying that specific part of Marathwada, after few years, it will become desert because there is no water, isn't it? Vidarbha, you know, then these are the major threats to the environment because of the expansion of agriculture and constructional activities. Okay, now here you can see for which purposes we are using lands now. Okay, land now. So here you can say their farming is going on, then vehicles, then you can see here wires, cables of electricity. Okay, then homes, earlier it was only for huts. Now you can compare the pictures. Okay, here earlier it was just limited to the farming, then there were huts, trees. Okay, now there was some change after few years, then the wires, cables. Okay, then homes, tractors, vehicles came. Okay, then third picture you can see here, industrialization happened, and in the industrialization vehicles came, then the lights, buildings you can see. Okay, and after industrialization, when there was a modernization, then we started using it for aeroplanes are there, then lights are there, many lights, then parks are there, big vehicles and containers, they are running on the ground, isn't it? So in this way you can see the use of land is changing years by years. The day might come when we will need land less and we will need sky more. Our vehicles may fly in the sky, isn't it? So because in many movies it is shown, isn't it? Chalo, fine. Then all these problems are there with the land. Now how to conserve the land resources? First of all, growing population and their ever growing demand has led to a large scale destruction of forest cover and arable land, and has created a fear of losing this natural resource. Therefore, the present rate of degradation of land resources must be checked. How they are degrading, what can we do for that? So time to time it must be checked. Then what can we do for it? First, afforestation. What is afforestation? As we are cutting the tree, in that same criteria, in that same means if we are cutting one tree, we must plant at least 2 or 3 trees. This is afforestation. It is exactly opposite to deforestation. We should plant more and more trees. Then land reclamation, regulated use of chemical pesticides, we should stop it. Okay, means it should be regular. Excessive use of pesticides and fertilizers, it will just make our soil void of fertility, and overgrazing are some of the common methods used to conserve land. Okay, next, now landslides. Here you can see the picture. This is black area, it's a mountain. Okay, and from there the land had just slided down. Okay, so this is called landslide. Okay, landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rock, debris, or earth down a slope. They often take place in conjunction with earthquakes, floods, and volcanoes. Because of these activities, it happens. A prolonged spell of rainfall can cause heavy landslide that can block the flow of river for quite some time. The formation of river blocks can cause havoc to the settlements downstream on its bursting. Just imagine if the land is coming down and if the river is flowing from here, then this landslide will stop the river and this water will just flow here. So there will be completely havoc, chaos in the city, isn't it? So it's a very problematic. In hilly terrain, landslides have been a major and widely spread natural disaster that often strike life and property and occupy a position of major concern. Okay, so this is what about the landslide. Now, how can we stop the landslides? How can we fight with it? Okay, so the first, hazard mapping, locate areas prone to landslides. We have developed such a technique by which we will understand which area is prone to the landslides. Okay, so when constructors, or we can say builders, they go there, first of all they do this checking, and if it is problematic, if it is a prone to landslide, it is avoided for the construction is not done there. Okay, second, construction of retention wall to stop land from slipping. Okay, means around the road. Okay, here you have to build a wall, so if there is a landslide from here, then this wall will stop it. Clear? So in this way, construction of retention wall definitely will stop land from slipping. Then increase in the vegetation cover is an effective way to arrest landslide. See, there can be a question in your mind that trees they give us oxygen. Okay, fine. But what is the relation of trees and landslide? How they can stop it? The reason behind it is, you know very well that the roots of the trees, they just go in the depth of land. So when they go in the depth of land, they need maximum soil or land. So they just hold it. Okay, because if we want a tree to rise high, it must go down in depth. As we build the foundation, as the bigger building is there, or as the taller building is there, its foundation is also that much deeper. Only then it can hold such a big building. Same like that, big trees, their roots, they have gone down in depth and they hold that land. So when there is landslide, they hold it and they don't allow that land to slide. Clear? So increase in the vegetation cover is an effective way to arrest landslide. Then fourth is the surface drainage control works are implemented to control the movement of landslide along with rainwater and spring flows. Okay, so all these techniques you can see which stop the landslide. Okay, now next part is soil. Okay, means soil is just part of the land only. Okay, but about that we will talk in our next lecture. Till then, thank you so much. Have a nice day.